Good morning, everyone. It's Tina Brigley. For those of you who don't know me, thank you for being here. For those of you that do and follow me, thank you for being here. I wanted to share something really open and vulnerable. And I know you can see the banner at the bottom. This week, last week I participated in an online workshop called Activating Your Inner Goddess. And it's always been really intriguing for me to tap more into my feminine and to really open myself up and open my heart up. So there was a point of time where I could not even be in the mirror, let alone naked in the mirror. But one of the challenges in this workshop was to stop what we were doing, go get naked and get in front of the mirror. That was a little bit confronting because I got to pay attention to the thoughts that I didn't even know were playing in the background, the beliefs that I had, the fears, the doubts, the distractions. There are so many things that were just showing up for me. Instead of focusing in the person in the mirror, I was focusing on what I had to do next, what I had to do tomorrow. And this is what I noticed. I do this a lot. So I don't know about you, but have you ever had the experience of really being with yourself in the mirror, naked or not, but not busy? You know, when you're doing your hair or doing your makeup or getting dressed, you look in the mirror, but I mean, just really being that person with yourself. This pattern kept showing up this week with clients and people around me and conversations that I was having. And I realized, like, if you're a coach right now, you might want to tune in, sit at the edge of your seat, because a lot of people tell me that they struggle with doing Facebook Lives. And the reasons and excuses are, I have nothing to say. I don't know what to say. What if people don't listen? All of that stuff. And I had this insight. All of that is bullshit. What's really going on is people get to look at themselves, talk to themselves, be with themselves when they're doing a Facebook Live. And I really uncovered that people are really uncomfortable with that. They're afraid of the judgment out there, is what they say. But really, what's going on is they're judging themselves out here. So really let in the notion that maybe if you're struggling to put yourself out there, it's not what is going on out there that scares you. It's what's going on in here that does. And when you start looking at yourself in the mirror, you really have this experience where the person in the mirror and you become one. You start talking to yourself like your best friend. You start talking to yourself with a little compassion and empathy instead of the internal judge that is telling you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you can't do it. All of that stuff that we deal with as human beings. Some people have practiced taming the brain a little bit more than others. But what we're doing is we are being with that person. And eventually what happens is you become one. Now, another element that, I got to be with that naked person in the mirror, and it was kind of comical and it was kind of confronting and all that other stuff. But then I realized that there was another level on top of that. There was something else that I wanted to do that was really important for me to turn up the intimacy notch, right? Because this is all about intimacy. This is about self-love. This is about being one with yourself. So you don't get to look outside for external validation. You get to look inward for that internal validation. So one of the things that I've been practicing in the mirror is acknowledging myself. Because one of the things that I do as, a hyperachiever, I'm a bit of my operating system is controller. One of the things that I don't do is acknowledge my wins. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy acknowledging others. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you acknowledge others, but not yourself. So I start with 7 acknowledgements and I look at myself and I say, Tina, I want to acknowledge you for showing up consistently for the last 2 years every Tuesday. Tina, I want to acknowledge you for being a stand for your clients, even when they're pushing back, even when they're confronted, even when they're triggered. I want to acknowledge you for being a leader. I want to acknowledge you for not stopping when your brain was telling you can't do this, when you were starting over from nothing. Tina, I want to acknowledge you. And I would keep going. And every day it's a new acknowledgement from the day before, the morning of. I want to acknowledge you for getting out of bed today when you wanted to sleep in. It could be simple as that. And then the other thing that I've been really doing is I've been forgiving myself. So the next part is what I really say to myself is, you know what? I forgive you for making that client wrong yesterday instead of holding the space for her to be exactly the way she was. See, because what I do sometimes, and maybe you can relate, when you F up, when you make a mistake, do you beat yourself up and go down a rabbit hole of how can I be this person for my family? How can I be this person for the world? How can I be this person for my clients if I don't have my shit figured out? So what we do is we go down a rabbit hole. So what if we could just forgive ourselves for being human, for making mistakes, and allowing it to just be what it is and what it isn't? So I forgive myself for things that I'm attached to, that I'm holding on to. And then the other thing that I've been really practicing is saying to myself, what are you committed to creating today? So I'll say, today I am committed to creating so much love in my heart. Today I'm committed to breaking through this thing called intimacy that I've been struggling with. Today I'm committed to nourishing my body. And those commitments are like, it's a contract that I am my word. I know that I'm my word. So I'm not going to give up on that. I'm not going to not honor myself. I'm going to really stand in what I commit to. And I commit to things that I know I'm going to follow through with. And this is part of my mirror work. This is part of what I have been creating. Why? Because when you start noticing a pattern in others, you better believe that you're the source of it. If you're struggling with an area of life and people come at you with the same problem, that means you get to take it on. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your clients, maybe it's in your enrollment conversations, you're noticing patterns. If you're willing to let in the notion that it's because of not you're causing it, but you're sourcing it. You're sourcing it so you can break through something. When you take this on with velocity, watch how your world opens up. I had that experience of being at that retreat and doing the mirror work. And then because I did that work, I noticed that somebody else was struggling with that. And I gave them my insight. I gave away my nugget, my gold. And as an impact, that person was able to go do a Facebook Live that got 800 views in a matter of not even 24 hours. Somebody who had never gotten out there and done a live, but who's an extraordinary badass. See, you might not realize this, but when you take on yourself, you then get to give it away to others and your world transforms. Now, the problem with this is not everybody's willing to take this on. Not everybody's willing to be the one. Not everybody's willing to stand for what's possible in a really transformed world. I don't know about you, but I want to live in a world where we're so intimate with ourselves that we just walk around loving on everyone. Wouldn't that be extraordinary? To get outside of our fears and our doubts and our limitations and just be of a service, even if you're not a coach, just be a service to your family, but honoring yourself at the same time. That's the world that I see as possible. That's what I want to create. That's what I'm standing for every single day of my life. Why? Because this world matters to me. You matter to me. Okay, so I hope you got value from this. I hope you're willing to maybe try it out. Maybe right now in this moment, no matter how busy your life is, you go shed those layers, take those clothes off, stand in front of a mirror and love the person that you see in there. Give them a hug, give them some love, because that person is you. Step into his or her finger slots and toe slots, see through their eyes, because that is you. So have a miraculous day, you guys. Whatever you're up to, whatever you're committing to today, know that the world needs you. Like in a real profound way, the world needs you. And when you start seeing that, when you are enrolled in who you are, you watch what happens around you. So I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I have some really cool things coming up, so stay tuned. I got something for you. Yes, you, the one watching right now. I have something that you need right now, and you get to really embrace. So stay tuned. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you all. See you back next week. Bye.